Welcome to the next video. I thought about a little bit, and maybe the first step we should take if we're going to wrap any particular Sansar function API around a simple script is how we would modify an existing script and make sure that we fully understand the API element we're using. In this case, what we want to use is the new API element that allows us to show a user store. And the idea is that we're going to use a click interaction. So I'm going to open the library we downloaded before, and I'm going to go to examples, and I'm going to open the previous project that I created, Script Examples. And we're going to actually build off an existing script called HelloWorld. Of course, you know, HelloWorld is that script we all use to learn how to program and do all kinds of good stuff. So what better program to use to create a modified version? So first of all, I think we should look at what HelloWorld does. It simply it makes the object that this script is in clickable. It's going to, let's see, where's the prompt? The prompt is going to be right here. And as a matter of fact, that will show up inside of Sansar. We could actually change that if we wish to. And we'll test this script along with the other script we're working on as well, because it's a pain in the butt going in and out of Sansar and back and forth again. So this will just be easier to go ahead and modify it. But what's really going on here is that we have an interaction, makes it clickable, has to have a rigid body in it, has to be a static object. Otherwise, interaction won't show. So we're going to do this in init, and what we're asking it to do is for this interaction to allow us to subscribe to the click event. Now this is not the same as a simple event. This is the lower level event system. Simple Scripts uses the same low level system but puts other layers on top of it with the idea that it makes it easier to use them and create parameters for them and do fun kinds of things. So even though in this case this looks real simple to subscribe to a click and away you go, a lot of others are much more complicated. You know, collisions, you got a lot of things you got to look at. That's why having someone else write that for you ahead of time might save you a lot of effort. But let's look in this case what's going on. We're subscribing to the interaction, and it's going to look for onClick. OnClick is this function right here. Well, actually it's not a function, it's a public function. It is a function. Doesn't return a value, right? But what it will do is it'll take this data right here. Interaction data. And where does that come from? Well, in actuality, where that comes from is from the event itself. When Sansar allows you to make an object clickable, and you click on it, the agent that clicked on it, and a whole bunch of things, a whole bunch of information, as a matter of fact, is put into a little object called interaction data. We can actually look at what's inside of interaction data, and this is one of the reasons why Visual Studio is a nice place to work in Sansar, because otherwise you'd be looking up web page information to find this out. But we can actually get access to a lot of information right inside of Visual Studio that allows us to say, oh, what's allowed here? So in this case, it's actually an instantiation. It actually created an object of this class called interaction data. And you'll notice that it has an agent ID, which is the session ID. It also records where it was hit on the volume. It records the normal coming off of that object at that point, and will even tell this script who hit, where it was hit from. Because it could have been hit from your left hand or your right hand if you were in VR, and that might be useful. So we might want to know what kind of control point was involved, or whether it was mouse look or something. In this case, we're really not too concerned about where the hit came from, or where it hit, or what the normal was, or how far away it was. All we want to know for this particular case is the agent who hit it, because we want this session ID information. So I'm going to close that by clicking up here. Again, you can actually look at the details involved in all of these objects by simply clicking. I'll do the agent private. I'll show you real quick what that looks like. Those are all the goodies that are involved in agent private. So you can see how it comes in real handy. So what's going to happen is onClick is going to receive an event, and it calls this function. The function, because we know we got interaction data, needs to say this is the data coming into the function. And we know, of course, the fields that are in there. Now, one of the nice things about this, let me show you this. Let's say, well, you know that's interaction data, but you forgot, well, what's available. You can see how IntelliSense comes in and says, oh, all of these things are available with the interactive data item. Sometimes I want the agent ID, and I now have the agent ID. What it does with the agent ID, this data to agent ID, is just going to use a function in scene private. Because what we need to send a chat message to a particular person is their agent private. Okay, we can't do it directly with their session ID. But what we can do is we can have a function in scene private. I'll go into, make sure I'm looking at the right code. And I see, yeah, scene private has this function where I can actually look at this. Okay, let me just actually get to the object. Where I can actually select .findAgent. So what that will do is give me the agent private. And I'm going to put it in this variable called agent. Now, within agent, an agent has another function attached to it itself. So I got the agent from scene private, and it got the agent from data to agent ID using session. We're going to go to the agent, and agent has a function in it that's not terribly useful there. One other place that's even more useful, I'm going to show it to you real quick. I keep it handy all the time. It's the object browser. And this is actually pulling stuff out of all those libraries, by the way. I'm going to go to Sansar Simulation, click, and now I can also look at what's available in Agent Private. And one of the things I see in Agent Private is send chat. Or I can send chat to everybody. I can send a chat to the Agent Private. So basically, we send it to this particular agent. So this agent can send to everybody, and this one can send it to a particular agent. Otherwise, the agent itself is saying, hey, I got a message. I'm going to put it out in chat just for me. So I'm going to actually go over to my Hello World, and basically what it's going to do is this agent is going to get this message. Hello, thanks for clicking me. So that's the existing script. You've probably seen it demoed before. If you put it in an object, clicked on it, the result is simple. You would see, hello, thanks for clicking me. So I'm going to extend this. How do I create a new script? Well, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm actually going to create one that opens a store listing. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to make a copy of this. And I am going to then paste it into my scripts. I'm going to rename it because it thinks it's just a copy. And I'm going to call this show user store .cs. And then I can open it, and again, it's identical now. So I'd like to change the class name. Store. Oh no, let me be consistent. Being consistent is important. Show user store. Okay. We no longer need this message, but I still need the agent. And the reason I need the agent is each agent also has the ability to open a store. All they need to open a store, by the way, is that string handle. That's kind of like your name that you see in the store. So the issue is, how do I get the store, the handle or the string name of the person in the store from this agent? Because I know I'm going to have that as well. So I got two things I need to do here. The first is, what is the function that allows me to open a store? I need to be able to do that. So I know that this agent is an agent private. What that means is that I can now go agent dot, and it will show me all the things that are available here to me. The thing that I want to find is this client interface. So I'm going to click on the client interface. What's available in the client interface? Well, there's a lot of things there too, but I noticed that I got send, there's that send chat we've been playing with earlier, but we don't want to do that again. And what we're looking for is, where are you? Open store listing. So I click on this open store listing, and it's a function. Oh, that's the wrong one. That's the open the store listing. I said I wanted to open the storefront. So I'm going to go try this again. Open user store. Okay. So, what does this need? This needs a string. I mean, this could be like, Ori Lynn store. I probably spelled that wrong, but you get the idea. The thing is, if you wanted to make it just open this store on click, we really wouldn't even need that. But we actually want the handle. We want this that our identifier. So if I clicked on it, I want this to become Ori Lynn. How does that happen? Well, I know I needed something that's a string. So I'm going to go again. We already got a hint when we were looking earlier. I'm going to go to agent private. I'm going to look at this agent, and I'm going to look in the agent info this time. And inside the agent info, a whole bunch of goodies. Again, session ID and all that kind of stuff. But what is this handle? This handle happens to be, or if I clicked it, it would be Ori Lynn. If Bill Bob, if that was her name, clicked it, it would be Bill Bob. And the idea is that it's going to open the store of this person for this agent who we got the session ID for, who clicked on this object. You kind of see the progression of things happening. So you can kind of see that even in a simple direct script, things get complicated really fast. That's why simple scripts kind of come in handy, because they're figuring all this stuff out for you in advance, and you just deal with the parameters. Let's now take a look at this and see if this is going to compile. Pretty good hint that I don't see any squiggly lines and red marks. Pretty good indicator. I probably don't have a problem. Still, it might not work. It might not build. I'm going to test by building this. And see, and again, it compiles all of these, including the new script I put together. In this case, it compiled. All right, so the first thing you got to do is always save. Because Sansar can't look inside Visual Studio. It can only look at external files. So I always want to say to save all. or in this case, save this new script I put together. That way this text file is sitting in a directory. If in doubt, let's actually open it and see if it's there, just to see what we've done. So I'm going to go into there, I'm going to go down to here, and make sure it is here in my script, yes. Yep. So we can see that we've successfully saved a copy of this file. The reason this is important is we need to use this file to upload this to Sansar. So it compiled, it built. We can test nothing more at this point. We need to go to Sansar. So I am going to lower this. I'm going to fire up Sansar. I'm not going in VR, so no point in having it. You don't have to shut that down, by the way. I just do it because I've got a lot going on in this computer right now with recording this video, so I'm trying to minimize it a little bit. So right now I'm going to go to create, going to go build my build worlds. I guess I'll go to test area. That's a fairly generic place I put things together. And one of the things we got to do next, we got to download, or I should say upload, the new script we created. So we'll get that done first. Alright. And yes, I did this earlier, so there actually is a cube sitting there with this implemented. Actually, it's not quite that way, a little different. So, first thing I want to do is I want to import the script. I want to import the script we created, so I got to find it. Again, it's on my desktop. So I'm going to look in desktop. Let's see, desktop. I'm going to look at this demo, script API. I'm going to look at examples. I'm going to look at my scripts. And there it is. And this is what I'm going to upload to Sansar. And I'm going to call it, I'm going to put the word demo on it because I've got so many scripts in there. I'm going to mix it up. I like to put a version on it because sometimes if I make a mistake, I may upload version 00.2 and I know which ones I can get rid of later because we get a lot of clutter. So there we go. Pulling up the script, import. And it doesn't take too long. Well, it can take a while sometimes. The cube we're going to use, by the way, is going to be this one right here, because I've got this one set up for testing this. As a matter of fact, this also has a version of this script where I actually display the information about the click. I'll demonstrate that. I'm not showing you the code today. That's a little more complicated. But I'll show you that I adapted the script even further and did something different. Alright, so at this point, what I'm going to do is I am going to duplicate this cube. Yes, it has another script in it, but not a problem, right? Because we can easily swap scripts out. And I'm going to put it right there so we know it's the first one. Alright, so that's done. Let's open our structure, and we see we got a script already. Again, that's this other script I wrote. I'm going to find the script I just downloaded and replace it with this one. I want to change the label here. Remember I told you that that interactive prompt had a default? Well, this other one had this default. So I will change this to click to open your store Why your store? Because it's going to be the store of the person who clicked it. This makes more sense. Alright, so we do that. That means that script should be ready to go. Again, I am going to check one thing. You do have to make sure, otherwise interactive won't work, that the object is static. Yep, got to be doing, not to be static, or the interactive won't function. Okay. So I'm going to go to Build, and we're going to take a look at this thing in action and see it working. All right, here we go. And there's a little bit in here. Hopefully it won't take too long. Again, first cube's going to be the one that opens our store. And you're going to see that I've modified, I built another script, extended another script off that same Hello World that tells me where on the normal surface, which happens to match a cube, and the normal that came off. So you can do all kinds of things. And I thought this was quicker than it was. It never is. When you expect it to go quickly, it's not going to. This is where you go get a cup of coffee and say, hi. There we go. We can visit now. Alright, let's go. Again, I'm going to demo the script we just wrote, and the fact that I actually did another one where I did something else with that click interaction. Let's go to the one that counts. This one, click to open your store. I'm going to click it, and there's my store. If you were to come visit this scene right now, because it is open, it is public, you will open and click on that block. I'm going to leave it there. It will open your store every single time. What if you had manually typed an entry in there that doesn't work? I think you get the general store. I haven't tested that. But I told you that I have made even another modified script earlier today, working on something else. I created a script where I want to say, click somewhere. So I'm going to click on this side, and you'll notice it in my chat. I indicated where it was clicked and the normal, and you'll notice the numbers keep changing because it's keeping track of all the places I clicked. I click in the corner, click in this corner, center, this side. I can click on this side, and again, you see the numbers all changing. I can actually now, if I had code that could do something with these numbers, like, I don't know, detect that I hit the top of the cube. Yeah, I can hit the top of the cube too. A little hard for me to reach the bottom here. But you begin to see how from even a simple script that did at first did nothing but say, hi, you clicked me, the script we just wrote that took the same information and discovered your creator handle and opened your store. And yet another extension of this script where I took the same information from interaction data and I displayed where it clicked and the normal. You just imagine that scripts can go in all kinds of directions here in Sansar. But the idea was to really demonstrate the implementation of the open the user store, because that's the one I am going to wrap around a simple script template that I believe I've already published it. I believe you can find it in Discord. If not, I will tell you where to find it. Wait, I think we'll put it in there to GitHub, so it's available there. In any case, there we go. This script right here, which I haven't shown the details of yet because it's still pretty crude, and it's obviously a little more involved than this one. This one's an easy one. Make sure you understand this one first before you attempt to write something like this, because this is a little more complex. I have to do a little more work. I have to discover a few more things about Sansar to do that. But the idea is that you discover parts of the Sansar API that do things for you. Just taking example scripts you can sometimes adjust those example scripts to actually look at those features and do those additional APIs. So there it goes. And I didn't do the cube that you just click it says, hey, you clicked me. I think we've all done that. So you can guess. The default one, you click on that, you get a text message that says you clicked me. I probably should have. I didn't, but there we go. Long enough. Once again, a way too long video. But you see the whole process of taking an idea of extending an existing script, Hello World Chat, that just says, you clicked me, and making it actually still clickable, but also display that person's store. So there it is. Have a good day.